Yeah. Woo. Music.
It's a Friday show. Are you going to introduce us or are you going to stand there?
Let the music do its thing. Live from your ESG. It always says compost bin. Maybe I'll just keep that permanent. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at July 7th Lane Studios, featuring all your favorites. Ari the Data Queen, Jesse the Money Whisperer, and the BS Man extraordinaire, Matt Moscardi. Whoa, Matt Moscardi joining us today.
Stop playing with your phone.
On today's, really, it's like the last 2 weeks, weekly wrap-up.
Yeah, it's like a 4-week wrap-up.
Threads, traveling nude, celebrities are better than scientists, duh, and cruises still suck. Oh, no.
Still.
Yay!
Wow.
Yes,
Oh.
they absolutely do suck. That's correct.
I was hoping they'd figured it all out.
No, they have not.
Well, I don't understand it that if subways don't suck and buses, mass transit, that doesn't suck. Why do cruises still suck? I don't get it.
They're the
Don't
worst.
worry,
Yeah,
we'll
come
get
on.
into
What
it.
a stupid question.
Someone can
that
explain
is.
to me later.
Yeah, the audience even gets the joke.
So we're all back from conference week, excited for the Friday show. We didn't really ever do a conference report, but we don't have a lot of time today. Maybe next week we can do a conference wrap up.
Maybe next year when it's
Next
no
year.
longer relevant.
2027. Actually,
It's always relevant, Ari. It's always
we
relevant.
should set a target date, like maybe when women's tennis gets paid the same amount in cash prizes as men's tennis.
Was it
2033? They said
33.
10 years. Maybe
Yeah.
when that happens, we'll do our 2023 conference week roundup.
All
That
right.
sounds good to
All
me.
right. Greenfin is going to be excited for that.
I'll remember.
Yeah, I'll let Grant at Greenfin know.
Are you
right.
ready to get at this? I know you guys have time limitations. Do you want to just get
Tell me.
rolling?
Let's do this.
I still hate this music.
I think it's fabulous.
What is that? Is that like July 4th music? Is that music from Hamilton, the musical?
Oh,
What is that?
It's like old-timey newsreel music.
It's weird. Ari, do you like that music?
Every time I open my compost bin, that's what I hear.
Okay. Oh, that's actually a great feature.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Musical
I want your
compost
compost bin.
Because all I hear is fruit flies and like egg yolks. That's what I hear.
Yeah, summer's a little dicey.
Here we go. Story of the week, last 2 weeks. We missed 3 horrible Supreme Court decisions.
Oh,
They found us. They somehow found us, though.
And they all kind of overlap with our world here, so I wanted to cover them. First, they struck down race-conscious admissions programs, right? That's affirmative action, which might embolden opponents of workplace diversity initiatives. That's the early news that they're going to come after DEI
that's
programs.
next.
They dealt a blow to LGBT rights, of course, by ruling that the constitutional right to free speech allows certain businesses essentially to discriminate against gay people,
That's
right?
fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because of your fake God, I suppose, right? Isn't that the reason?
Whatever one you want to make up today.
Although, ironically, Matt, you told me that our favorite anti-ESG expert, former guest on this show, Vivek Ramaswamy, said that the first commandment in his weird new 10 commandments is that God is real.
That's correct. So he had 10 truths. Like
Truths. These are truths.
He has like his whole T-shirt merch line is now just truth, and he's got 10 truths. And the number 1 truth is God is real.
Wow.
And the number 2 truth is there are 2 genders. That's
Oh
it. So
my
he's
God.
just
My God.
going like there's
But
no
here's the thing, Matt.
I
there's no
can't.
truth that's like the right to life, liberty, and happiness or whatever it is. It is just God is real and there's 2 genders, so fuck you.
Sounds like.
But I will say this,
sounds
Matt.
like he misspelled opinions with truth.
He did.
with the word truth.
Yeah.
I will say this, Matt, though, when
confusing.
someone casually comes up to me and says, like, how did Spider-Man shoot the webs out of his hand or whatever, I will just start answering the question. So maybe he's right.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
God
then it
is
would be
real.
that would be one of the
Right?
10 truths. Yes.
I don't say, well, Spider-Man's a made-up fictive character. I can't talk about it. All right. And finally, they blocked Biden's plan to cancel $430 billion in student loan debts,
Boo.
which they say will have a direct negative impact on the economy. So there you go. Those are the 3 horrible rulings out of the Supreme Court. The number 2 story of the week has to be the another potential Twitter killer. Meta's.
You did
Zuck.
not just say Twitter killer.
Well,
Why
I'm looking
is
at the
that?
headline.
Oh, okay.
And I'm thrilled because seconds before the show, someone corroborated what I was thinking, which is that Zuck is finally having a good week. This is out of Axios. They agree with me.
Oh, just wait till we get to
people
my
suddenly
section.
like Zuck for 10 minutes. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's not
Just because
not
just
amazing.
because he launched Threads and
Amazing's the wrong word.
Do they like Zuck or do they just hate Elon
they
more?
really hate Elon.
This is like
They really hate
better of-
Elon.
Do they even need to get in a cage to settle this? No.
It's never going to happen. So that's the second big story of the week, is that there's a huge competition coming up for Twitter called Threads out of Mark Zuckerberg's companies. Number
Competition
3.
for something
Yeah.
no one asked for.
Do we think it's gonna stick? I feel like everybody rushed to it so they could get their like preferred name. You know, because
No,
every time
you have
social
to use
media-
your Instagram name
Oh, you do? How do you know all of this? Oh my god.
because I read things.
Uh-huh.
I just like-
he's
Matt
on
secretly
it.
has threads, yeah. Everybody
I'm not
find
even on
him.
Instagram.
At BS Man.
I like.
Is that
Here are
taken?
the two. Here are the
Well,
two
now it
details
is.
I
We
like.
waited too long.
I like that Elon Musk is mad that Zuck is hiring Twitter employees that Musk already fired,
Yeah, he fired them.
and I like that he's angry about the monopoly over there at Meta, even though Elon is now currently taking the first steps in creating an everything app
I like that he
that will essentially monopolize the entire world.
he was arguing about how Meta's using an algorithm-only approach from a man who fired all the content moderators, right? Like, isn't Twitter an algorithm-only approach? There are no people left. I don't get it.
Do we think
The
Threads is going to stick? Can we do a quick
Wait,
prediction
didn't you already
thing?
ask that? Do I
Yeah,
think
nobody-
Ari's going to
I
stick? Is the
hope
real
not.
question. Yes, of course. I don't. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. If especially what Matt's saying, if it's tagged to Instagram. Instagram seems to be the one thing over there at Meta that people really just love. I don't know. Facebook seems to be kind of dwindling, but if it's tagged to your Instagram account, why wouldn't it be a
Sad.
big thing?
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
Anyway, number 3, big story of the last 2 weeks. For the third day in a row, Earth's average temperature breaks record highs.
Ew.
Yeah, that's sad.
I don't even have
Despite
a
the
sound
fact that
effect
if you're
for
watching
hate.
at home, you see Ari in a jacket. Yeah, don't look at that. That's not proof of anything. And the number 4, hold on. The number 4 big story of the week falls right into our camp. BlackRock's Larry Fink said he won't be saying ESG anymore. He's done. Something that, and I gonna praise him because that's something that we
Yeah,
promised
that could
and
be
we
good.
failed at, and now he's doing. He's
What
down
is
with
he
the
gonna
term
say
ESG.
now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is he replacing it with?
Did he say?
I don't know.
He said conscientious capitalism.
No, that's not true, is it?
GSE.
No, it's not.
That's not actually true. But
I want him
he
to
did.
replace it with GSE.
He did actively support stakeholder capitalism 2 or 3 years ago. So Matt, you're kind of right about that, but he hasn't
yeah.
talked about that since.
I mean, he says all sorts of things. I think he's
Yeah,
just
so
going to
those-
say capitalism from now on.
So those are the 4 stories. Supreme Court sucks. Threads has been launched. Earth is boiling, and Larry Fink won't be saying ESG anymore.
I mean, the story of the week is probably the Supreme Court. It was just like an onslaught of shit from the Supreme Court.
One after another.
Um,
But Threads has overtaken everything.
well, Threads is like the story of the moment, but like then everyone's going to realize that it's stupid also. And I think the story that we ought to be talking about, which should be the story of every week of every year, is that we're fucking on fire. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
9 million degrees everywhere. And they're actually saying because of El Nino, the heat is going to keep up and it's just going to make everything's going to accelerate. So this feels like the year we start our death spiral.
Yeah, I shared an article yesterday from The Guardian saying that enjoy it because this will be the coolest summer in
That was
the rest of your life.
Texas.
That was literally the worst headline I've ever
Yeah.
read in my life. This is the coolest summer you'll have again. It's like, horrible.
Yeah.
We're all gonna move to Canada, way up north.
So
where
I'm
nothing's
It's not going to
confused.
help. I was just in Canada. It's hot. It's hot there. Believe me.
You were probably in the bottom 10% of the country. We gotta go to the
Okay,
top.
but that's
top.
where everybody lives, though. No one lives up in the
This
other
is great.
part.
I'll get a lot of land
We're
because
going
I'll
to
be a
Aleutian
pioneer.
True.
Islands. We're gonna,
That's true.
let's. I don't have a. I hate all of these.
All right, you
Does anybody have a
start.
vote?
You're a good vote starter. Ari.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Supreme Court because
Yeah.
they just kept stomping on me after kicking me down. And the student loan thing directly affected me, so I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose that as well.
It's kind of hard not to choose that. I mean, I know that technically it was last week, but we missed it, so we had to
Yep.
include it.
Matt,
Your vote doesn't matter.
My vote doesn't matter. I would have.
But you are right, though. The most important thing is that
He
the
already
Earth.
voted.
There
think
will
I
be
would
there
go
will be
with-
no earth
Did he
left
vote?
for me to
Burning
pay my
Earth.
student loans.
Yeah, because the Supreme Court,
Yeah,
it's
we might
great.
as well not pay.
You
Yeah.
know what? Affirmative action
that.
is no more, and conservatives can rally behind that while we all literally melt.
Yep.
Like, it's fine.
Yep.
All right, that's the story of the
That
week.
was
Supreme
like,
Court sucks.
I thought that was the not exhausting. I thought Jesse was exhausting us the week. That was
I know.
literally the worst.
What
Well,
are you
no,
doing?
You could have focused
that
on Larry
kinda
Fink. I
week.
thought that was a fun one.
All right, let's do good
Ah.
list because that was terrible. To make me feel better.
I feel like
Come on, Ari. A lot of pressure this week.
you've sucked the energy out of my section now.
Well, it's not me.
I was
just
so
reporting on the biggest
excited.
stories. Come on,
I
cheer
was
us
so
up then.
excited for my headline.
Come on, you have a new electric vehicle. Be excited.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with the nude traveling, but it's not really nude
Oh.
traveling.
Oh, I don't know.
Did
What
I
this
misread
is.
the
I
headline?
already don't like it.
This airline wants you to travel across the world without clothes.
I mean, I assumed
Yeah,
it
that's
was
nudity.
nudity as well.
That's
when
nudity.
I
just
would
read the
not
headline.
want to put my bare butt on a seat where somebody
Ugh.
else has put their bare
Gross.
butt.
Speak for yourself.
That's kind of gross. No, but Japan Airlines, and I especially love this story because I feel like they're thinking outside the box, and that I love that.
Thinking outside
Japan-
the island.
Airlines has just begun a year-long trial to encourage its passengers to rent clothing, supposedly at affordable prices,
I would do that.
and they will receive them at their destination.
I actually might do that because I hate this. I hate modern day packing because you're always like you're spending an extra $300 to bring a bag on. You're constantly weighing it because
know,
you
it's
fear the
crazy.
$7,000 overage
It's
cost. I hate
panic
clothes.
packing
I hate
half the
shopping.
time.
I hate
Oh,
everything. I'll
Also,
rent clothes.
people like new clothes for their trips,
I like
so
new
now they
clothes.
get new clothes. But they're
I'm gonna
rentals.
rub ketchup right
People
into the crotch.
buy
I
new
love
clothes
it.
for trips. This is a thing. But the primary goal of this is to help reduce carbon emissions because supposedly
too.
it would lower the weight on the plane, which would lower the fuel consumption.
They promise to save the world in the year 15,050.
Hey,
Can you bring
one
your-
bag at a time. We need a
One bag at a
1,000-prong
time.
approach. This is
Thousand
this
prong
is-
approach.
this is
I oddly like this though, Ari.
0.01% of
Can I ask
one
you
prong.
though? Like
What?
What's offsetting?
Don't fly.
No, well, yes. I'm not. That's not a question though. That's just a statement.
Don't go to
Stop
Japan if
fucking
you live in
Says
flying.
the
America.
person who's going to Japan.
I don't want to go to Japan.
Oh,
Matt can rent
right.
something.
I don't-
Matt can be
I
the
want
poster
nothing to
child
do
for
with
this
any
ad.
of
I don't think they have Bermuda shorts there anymore.
Oh,
That was,
I don't even
that
wear
was
Bermuda shorts.
2005.
Matt, are you flying Japan Airlines? Do you know?
I have no idea what we're flying. I think we're flying like
boo.
Delta or something.
Oh.
But the trade-off of renting your clothes, saving carbon emissions for that flight, versus the amount of water and energy it takes to clean the clothes from the lice-infected passengers.
I hear you.
Which
that
one
might
is?
be true.
can you at
hear
least
you.
bring your own undergarments? Like,
Yes.
do you get
No.
a small
No
bag?
underwear.
You-
Nothing.
you can bring your own socks and your
Everyone's
own underwear.
just in a
No.
robe on the,
So-
on the plane.
I love everything about
Matt,
that.
sounds
those
nice.
are fair points, which is why this is a pilot. So they're going to look exactly at those things. But in the meantime, they have partnered with a sustainable fashion brand to supply the clothes and the laundry service that they will be using because you get freshly, laundered things and
Ari,
folded and
th-
pressed.
I think what-
won a sustainability award. So they're
Oh,
trying.
well. Yeah. Ari, I think what Matt's trying to say is it's
What?
too bad you guys don't still have your Woke Data podcast because you could cover this and you could weigh the
Ooh.
benefits here. I
It's
you
coming, so
We
they
could
say.
weigh.
Yeah, by
Well,
2020.
you could figure this out for us.
So,
All right, what else? Come
I
on.
mean, just as some context here, United Airlines
I
decided
don't
to
need more
use
context.
lighter paper for their in-flight magazine and their in-flight
They
stuff,
just can't get rid of the magazine.
and it saved literally
That nobody
hundreds of
likes.
thousands of jet fuel per year.
That's sad that they
Lighter
still
paper.
yet
So,
maintain
you know,
the magazine.
wherever
Yeah.
you can do it. All right, number 2. Automakers are bringing back buttons and knobs as touchscreens become scourge.
A scourge.
Scourge.
Wait,
Shoot,
This
I
is when
didn't
the
practice.
Peruvian
This is-
comes
I
up.
didn't practice my headline.
This
reading.
is good news meant
Yes,
to
I love this.
counterbalance the fact that the Earth is heating up. Buttons.
I love this. Buttons.
buttons.
Are you freaking kidding me? For some reason, using your smartphone in the car is super dangerous. Don't do it. You'll get a
True.
ticket. But having a freaking giant iPad on the side is chill. Like, who
Yeah, I
ever
don't.
decided
I
that?
really don't like using.
love that.
I wouldn't
cars.
know. My car's from 2011. I hate everything about it.
Well, what started out as just simple help for navigation, GPS, that's all very helpful. It ended up with entertainment and all these other things, and you have to touch the buttons, and you can't just feel for the buttons when you want to adjust a radio, right? Like, think about your radio volume knobs. You know exactly where those
Yeah.
are. You don't even have to look away. Anyway, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Nissan have all
Hyundai,
taken
baby.
public stances, and they are leading
even
the
realize this was a thing.
return
This
of
is
the
how out of it I
buttons
am.
and dials for more distraction-free.
Uh-huh.
100%.
Driving.
I
We
buy.
love
I buy this not at all.
safety.
I buy this not at all.
However,
The crowd loves this too.
GM and Mercedes are not doing away with screens, and in fact, Mercedes is actually
What?
going for 3 screens in a single cabin because they can.
That's a great comeback.
Douchey thing to do.
Fuck you. We're doing 3 screens.
Fuck you, we're adding a screen.
So, I thought that was great because I hate screens. Like, that is my least favorite thing with my car.
Look, if
Really?
Star
My favorite
Wars
thing about your car.
taught us anything, have you ever seen the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon in the movies? Of course you haven't, because
Nope.
no one cares.
Remember, it's
it's
just all like
everything's-
it's all levers and
everything's
buttons,
a lever
isn't
and
it?
a dial and a
Yeah,
button. There's
and
no
a big,
screen.
There's a nice big. There's
The
a big
screen was
windshield.
like a 3-inch by 3-inch screen. It was just like a green line. That was it. There's
was-
nothing.
Yeah.
It was green and black. And last but not least, this is
Mm-hmm.
the headline. Huge blow for Meta as EU's
I
top
wish,
court
yeah.
sinks legal basis for targeted advertising on Facebook. Whatever.
Okay.
There was a lot of legalese speak, but the Court of Justice of the EU, which is the highest court in
Mm-hmm.
the European Union, just ruled on a case that dates back to 2019. So these are, Wimbledon 2027 things. When
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a weird callback. Yeah.
So when the German antitrust authority decided that Facebook was abusing its dominant position in the social networking market by combining data from different platforms to provide more targeted advertising. So
Okay.
they ruled on it, and they're like, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg can no longer take WhatsApp data, Instagram data, Facebook data, now probably Threads data, and use all of these. Oh, and third-party data when you log in with Facebook to target ads to you.
You know what, though?
What?
Cool.
Yeah.
We stopped the Activision Microsoft merger.
I know.
Because
Miraculously.
like 7 kids play Call of Duty. And
Yeah.
we have not broken up this stupid
I was
fucking
gonna say,
company.
Isn't there an
Yeah.
easier way to prevent this?
You
There's-
prevent this by not having one guy control all the shit.
Hashtag break
Yeah,
up
there's-
big
there-
tech. I get it.
Yeah, there's 2 things you can easily do is get rid of these horrible double voting rights, these super voting
Correct,
privileges,
yeah.
and you could just get rid of his monopoly.
Yeah,
I mean,
also
monopolies
correct.
in general.
Yes.
Also
Yeah.
correct.
And first, you can also get rid of their main way of advertising and their way of making money.
That
So-
seems like
That's
the
true.
long.
That's
This
true.
happened in 2019. It's
And they ruled on it this week.
Yeah, 4 years ago, they were doing this. They've been doing it for the last 4 years. They've made billions of dollars on this.
And if I brought up this story in 2019, you would have said, well,
Come back to
call
me.
me when we have a verdict.
I'm just saying.
And we're calling you.
Yeah.
I don't feel
We'll
good
call
about
you.
it.
But
though.
on top
I don't
of that,
feel
so
good.
you know the GDPR regulations where you have to like consent to all these things, right? So
Yes.
technically, all the users were consenting to this type of combo profiling in the terms and conditions. But The regulator has said that they had no choice but to agree if they wanted to use a leading social network.
Nobody pays attention to any of this
Therefore,
stuff.
Mark Zuckerberg was illegally using his power to break GDPR regulations,
That is correct.
which is a double whammy.
That is
I don't know if this is a huge blow. It's something negative, I suppose.
It's a step.
You know what the worst
Huge blow? I don't know.
The worst part about this goodliest trio, the trio being
Is that you like the knobs?
traveling across the world without clothes, autos with more buttons,
I don't
and-
feel good about any of this, really.
and the EU sinking
Ari was
targeting
excited,
advertising.
you guys. Just choose
Okay,
one.
but
I'm deep in on knobs. I'm 100% knobs. It's,
All about
it's
But to be
all the
fair-
knobs.
you freaking
to be
Star
fair to
Wars
Ari,
nerd.
it was a short work week, and Ari was scrambling for stories. When
I was
Ari
not
doesn't have her
scrambling.
prep
I
time,
started
she,
last night.
she doesn't make us
She
feel
did
good.
start
When,
last night.
when
Came out
she
with.
hustles at the end, she makes us feel bad.
No, knobs made me feel great. I love
So
the
you
knobs.
really, you earnestly like that, Matt?
I'm choosing airlines.
That would be the okay answer, but I'll give
Matt,
it a...
you have a
Excited.
brand.
This is cool. I mean, it needs to change. The industry needs to change. It sucks. Let's see.
They're thinking
Whatever.
outside
How about just less
Let
flights?
me ask you something. If your
Fewer flights.
iPhone had knobs on it,
Yeah.
would kids be
I
staring
would
at
hate
it
it.
all fucking day?
That's true, that's
Would-
true.
I mean, if everything was back to being knobs and levers, there's nothing to look at. Like, you have to, like, look up and see, oh, look, there's a tree there. I've never seen that before.
I do want a flip phone. That's true.
Matt, you have a nice new electric vehicle,
I
one
do.
that I'm coveting and maybe gonna emulate.
jealous of
does
his
it,
knobs.
Does it,
He's got
Does it
some.
not have knobs,
It's
or
knobs.
does it have knobs?
It's
I've
got
got
a
some
Okay, so
couple.
Hyundai, and
Knobs.
it's a Hyundai, and they are following through on
It
it.
is
Okay,
Hyundai,
and
and
you
they
like
have
the
some
knobs.
knobs.
Well, it
Amazing.
also has a screen, but it does have
It has a screen.
some knobs.
But I will tell you this: my wife likes to use the screen, but I
Mm-hmm.
only use the knobs. Like when I'm looking to do something and you're driving, I'm like, I press the button.
It's a weird
and it does the
conversation.
thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just saying.
do not like how I can't do the temperature control
Yeah.
with a knob.
I press a button.
Do feel unsafe being like, how do I get to this?
Yeah, I'm
Just
freezing.
open your windows.
and I have to choose.
Well, I do that in my car because it doesn't have AC. So.
I have to
Oh.
choose
And
between.
you want to know how that was yesterday on the hottest day
I
of
don't.
the
I don't.
Yeah.
I actually don't
the
want to know.
Earth?
Tell us
history?
tomorrow the next hottest day
It
of
was
the earth.
gross.
All right, Ari, I'm
do you
gonna
got?
just throw this back to you, just for the sake of the show. I'm gonna vote for the Meta EU story, just so you can break the tie. What's the
Wow.
actual goodliest of the week? What is
You
it?
don't believe your vote? I don't know how to
No,
handle
I'm playing
this.
a game here. I'm playing a long game.
Okay,
What's the
all right.
actual win, Ari? What's the
Airlines without
goodliest?
clothes, of course.
no.
What about actually
Fashion.
reducing the amount of flights? Wouldn't that also?
What about reducing
Sure.
amount of people?
You can do that too.
You know what?
Okay,
You know what?
all right.
Taking out business seats for economy seats, fine.
Yeah, well,
But
Okay.
What if I would
Luggage
love
is also
instead
important.
of not like putting clothes on the airplane, put no people on the airplanes.
I
Yeah. How about you just
love-
can't check a
fly
bag?
empty airplanes like it's 2020
I
again.
just love the idea of being in a robe and slippers on an airplane. That feels so comfortable. to
Oh,
me.
a robe.
Like, come
I
on.
was thinking naked, but
Yeah, of course you went right to like
Yeah, I
pure
did.
nudity.
Come on,
All
bring us
right,
down, Matt.
That's it for that. It's time to do
Make us
something
mad.
to make you angry. All right, assholiest of the week. This week, the asshole of the week is the Supreme Court.
Yay!
There is no vote.
No.
Instead, what we're going to vote on
So
is the
obvious.
second biggest asshole
Okay.
of the
Ooh,
week.
I like
Okay.
this. I like
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I like
Because
not having a choice.
you don't have a choice about who the asshole is. It's
We
already
have a
done.
sub-choice.
Our first asshole of the week entry it's actually our first ESG regulation entry ever
Oh.
in asshole of the week.
Sexy.
It is the FCA, the UK's regulatory authority over the financial sector. Sasha Sudan,
that's a good name. I like
he's
that.
the FCA director of ESG, and he said this about ESG ratings. He's pushing back. They put out a labeling scheme. They're doing all sorts of stuff. They're heavily regulating it. He said, quote, "We will be able to see whether we think they are doing the right thing in the authorization process." So effectively, what he's saying is, we want to make sure ESG raters are doing the right thing. The regulator will decide what the ESG is. And it turns out when you read all the regulation, they put out a draft voluntary code principles that ESG rating providers would be able to sign up for. The voluntary standard is higher than the bar for all regular credit ratings currently.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because you can actually, if you're a credit rater, you can create indexes and benchmarks. You can sell consulting services. They actually take money from the people that they're rating, so there's already a bad incentive there. No, none of that for ESG. They actually told ESG providers that they are talking about you cannot do indexes, consulting, anything. You only can provide the ESG rating to avoid the greenwashing. They're more worried about greenwashing than they are worried about credit ratings.
Matt, do you know what Sasha Sadan's, what is his background exactly?
He's a finance guy.
Okay.
In fact, he put together an advisory committee on ESG in December of last year. It's a bunch of ESG people on it. Not one of them from an ESG rater. None of them have ever played with an ESG data point. None of them have rated a company for ESG. All of them are like, there's a couple academics. There's people I know. Desiree Fixler's on there, the whistleblower from DWS. But they don't rate things. So
do you think that once somebody just reminds them that all they're really simply trying to achieve is to identify long-term risk, they'll just give up all this bullshit?
I think when someone reminds them that ESG is just a data set and you can do whatever you want with it, like it's not like, I don't know what we're talking about. Like why the biggest asshole thing is that a bunch of people who have never seen an ESG data point are saying we will make sure that the raters do the right thing. What's the right thing? Tell me what the right thing is, sir. I want to know what the right thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in the industry for 10 years.
Maybe
30.
Vivek needs
How long have I been in this industry?
I think he needs to add an 11th point to his 10 truths, right?
So this is my deep cut ESG regulation, asshole.
All right, I like it.
Number 2. That we have to choose between tech bro social options, where the ending point is Mark Zuckerberg is the adult in the room. Because what we have now
so sad.
is
sad
Meta
but true.
launching Threads.
Sad but true.
And Elon Musk is fighting for Twitter. Like, we are in a situation where if you want to be on social media, you have to choose between which tech bro is the least asshole leaf to you.
You don't have to, but I hear what you're saying.
But so I already hate it. I also hate that Threads, inside of Meta, Threads is now something they're calling part of the Fediverse.
What's the Fediverse?
I saw that headline
is-
and I did not.
It's the federal universe of social media apps or something. It's something that
the Zuckerverse, you mean?
Yeah, it should be called the Zuck. It made me think of Kevin Federline is really what it made me think of, which I don't know how I feel about.
K-Fed.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's that for a throwback?
That's,
well,
decades
let me ask you a question.
old,
Do we think that Threads is going to stick?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She's not going to
clearly
stop
Mark
until you
Zuckerberg-
answer her.
Ari, clearly Mark Zuckerberg has no idea what he's doing. He's not very successful, so
I mean,
probably not.
He did only make Facebook.
You're gonna
He
get
bought
called a
Instagram.
mouth
That is
He bought
correct.
WhatsApp.
The joke's on Damien. He actually
it
isn't
all-
very
right,
good at what he does.
It's all a failure.
You're
going
going
to
to be called
no
a mouth
control.
breather for that.
Yeah.
Because
Mouth
people are
breather.
going to be like, he's a genius.
No, actually, no. You're wrong. Those people don't like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, no one comes to Mark Zuckerberg's defense.
Yeah. No one worships Jews except for Jesus Christ. That's the only Jew they
How
worship.
dare you? Number 3. This headline. Leonardo DiCaprio is the most trusted authority on the climate crisis.
I almost chose
beating
that.
Greta Thunberg, Al Gore, and The Rock.
I
The
had
Rock.
this down too.
Here's my
Wait,
problem.
The Rock was on that
The
list?
Rock
The
is
list,
on the list.
the list is a teenager, 2 actors, and a politician.
Well, but Thunberg, she actually has credibility at this point. I mean,
Yes.
compared to The
She's
Rock.
a teenager. What
Okay.
about Peter Kalmus, the
She
NASA
was a
scientist who's an outspoken, a
Sure.
person on climate change? He's from NASA. He's a scientist. Allison Crimmins, head of the National Climate Assessment. Ken Golden, he's actually called the Indiana Jones of mathematics, and he talks about climate
Like it.
modeling. Or how about from your backyard, Damien, Brenda Hall? She's a professor at the School of Earth and Sciences and Climate Change Institute at the University of Maine.
Yeah, why not?
Nope.
Why not,
They couldn't
Brenda?
even done Bill Nye the Science Guy.
True.
No,
Here we go,
none of
Leo.
them. Zero
Actually,
of
Bill
them.
Nye is quite effective.
He's
quite
super
effective
effective.
speaker.
Yeah. and our most trusted authority
Wow,
on
that's
the
insane.
largest scientific consensus and biggest issue facing the entire globe is Leonardo DiCaprio. a
Which
guy-
is like sort of doubly disheartening because his last big movie, which was kind of a social satire about this issue, everyone hated.
yeah, no, well, it was too
Don't
woke.
look up.
It was too
Yeah,
woke.
well,
Oh, that's why
Yeah,
they didn't like
it
it.
was-
I
it was
thought they,
woke.
I thought they thought it was sort of like ineffective.
Yeah, no one liked it.
Well, if he was
Right.
sailing across the ocean right now, he would not hit an iceberg. Let's just say that.
That's true. There are none.
Oh yeah, I was
Good
gonna
point.
say yeah. And he probably is sailing across the ocean in a super yacht. so-
Finally, who's the snowflake now, you assholes? Here's the headline: Anti-woke brands fuel parallel market for conservative shoppers.
Yeah.
There's a website called Public Square. They take in all. It's like Amazon
sounds
taking
pretty
in small
woke.
sellers, but
Yeah.
you have to. I tried to sign us up for it. You have to,
You have to prove that you
have
know
to
the Ten
agree
Commandments?
that
Yeah.
with the sanctity of life, that you are a patriot. Like there's a thing in their terms and conditions that
To
you
prove
agree
it?
to before you
My
get on.
God.
You have to
just
prove it?
agree.
You don't prove. You just
You have to
say,
agree,
I
okay.
agree with these principles. You have to say that before you get on.
Really?
I said I disagree. It still let me on the site.
Oh.
But I went looking on the antiwokemonster.com, which is like Red Shop or something, or Red Balloon. Red
Okay,
Balloon.
you're hurting me, but you're hurting me.
And it was all lists of jobs for conservative PACs and Christian schools. Like literally, it was
Okay.
like we're looking for a science teacher to teach how science is the creation of God, right? Like it was like that. Like all the.
Right.
I went to the conservativepets.com.
That's called a priest, not a science teacher.
I went to conservativepets.com and it told me that.
Conservative pets.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It told me that they focus on dog wellness, not social wellness. And they have a dog food called Big Guns Dog Food. And it was great for
Okay.
hunters who have dogs. That's what they
Oh
what they
my
do.
God.
Okay.
What are you
Okay.
saying?
I found a health supplement that is designed for, quote, patriots.
What kind of patriots?
What's
It has
in
to be
it?
the right kind of
What's in it?
patriots.
I don't know what was in it. It was like collagen
Testosterone?
peptides. No, it was like collagen
All right.
for patriots. I don't know.
You're killing me with this, Mary.
It turns out also Eco Baby, which is a brand
Yeah.
you might have actually heard of. They make organic mattresses for like cribs. They're anti-woke. They're listed. They agreed to the sanctity of life, and they're on the site. So organic
Eco Baby.
mattresses,
God.
some of them out. I thought it was funny that the French Home Shop is on
French
the public
Home Shop.
square. They're pro-America. They're
French Home
French
Shop?
Home Shop is pro-America. That was a good one. And then finally, locally here, just outside of West Hartford, I found a new plumber.
Oh God.
They're called Kina. They're a quote freedom-minded plumber.
Oh my God.
They?
Yeah, it's a plumber that when they do the plumbing, they do it with hate for socialism.
Wait, but this is a plumber that goes by the pronoun they?
No. That's
Oh,
a
I was
plumber.
going to say, this is going
Not
to blow
me.
up the
There's
There's
system,
no
right?
pronouns involved.
This
Hey.
would melt down the whole
And,
website.
there's no pronouns involved. So really, conservatives, are we now who's the snowflake here? You created an
Is there
entire
safe space?
alternate reality, safe
All right,
space,
stop.
so
Just-
you could
just
feel
get off this.
included. It's the most ESG DEI
Can
thing
we-
I've ever heard of.
Can we edit this out of the podcast? Can we edit
No.
this part out?
No,
I don't want
think
to talk
I'm
about
going
this
to
anymore.
choose this just for the poetic.
Oh, I have
So
I
Ari's
have a,
made her
All right,
choice.
so your
My choice is
assholes
obvious.
are not the Supreme Court already won. Okay, so
Right.
but
My
your
choice is
assholes
obvious.
for second biggest asshole of the week are UK regulator Sasha Sedan and their ESG idiocy. Tech bro social options. Leo DiCaprio as our trusted source of scientific knowledge on climate change, and snowflake conservatives.
my vote's easy. And this doubles off your first choice, Matt, for story of the week that the world is heating up. If Leo is our most trusted, oh no, really, but this is why we're doomed, right? And I'm not saying this for a laugh. I mean, that's one of the most disheartening things I've seen in a long time.
You
I mean,
know,
that's terrible.
I feel you.
Absolutely terrible.
To his defense, though, he does spend a lot of his time and money.
I don't care.
Promoting.
I got
things
nothing against
from
Leo.
actual
It's not about
scientists.
Leo.
I like
It's not
Leo.
about Leo.
I got nothing against him. I got nothing against the dude. But Matt is right that
It is
this is
bananas.
the most
Yeah, I
the
get it.
most trusted authority.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We need a Fauci for this.
He's
right?
not. He's not. He's not
not
an
sure that's-
authority.
Everyone
Well-
hates that guy.
But he's
I
not an
love that
authority on
guy.
the climate crisis. It's simply not what he is.
Okay.
And The Rock, The Rock is an authority.
I mean, the Rock should have won.
yeah, that's my vote. That's my vote.
That's my vote too. I almost chose this for Exhaustingest. I saw Matt had it. I let him have it, but yes, this my vote.
So your vote doesn't count, Ari, but what would you
Yeah.
have voted for?
I already voted.
Jesse forgets one of the main rules of this game, that if you have the same vote, you let the other person
Oh, well,
go
Ari said she
next.
already voted.
She already
Yeah,
voted.
that
She
She
voted
voted for
Public
snowflake
Square.
conservatives.
She goes,
Oh, I
I'm
missed that. I
gonna
missed
vote
that.
for this.
Sorry, Jesse. There you go,
Snowflake
Ari.
conservatives. All right, so the winner of Asshole of the Week is Leo DiCaprio as our authority on climate change, which brings us
Oh,
to...
my God.
Our favorite segment.
God, this is the most depressing show I think we've ever done.
What are we gonna do when Ari's
This
out?
is bad. 2 weeks, man.
We're going to be sad.
You had
There
way
is
too
no-
many assholes.
No, I'll get some actually good stories, not just like nude people on planes.
No, I don't have anything too.
Hey, how dare you? Knobs was good.
No. I like that you
If-
like it.
If there is such a thing as lighthearted, exhaustingest stories, I kind
Yeah.
of have those this week.
Oh.
Go,
So
go.
I mean,
Run with it.
this is
Fast,
intriguing. I
quickly.
I think we're just all gonna be like, yup. Okay. So I wanted to cover this week's woke brand called
Woke brand.
Yeah. It's a brand that's been deemed as woke. So it's called
Okay.
It's August. It happens to be a menstrual hygiene product.
Oh, yeah.
And it's woke because the CEO, Nadia Okamoto, who I actually
already
know,
woke.
did some work with her in Oregon.
Ooh.
Nice.
She
Have her on
chose
the show.
she was interviewed by
Yeah.
Gayle King and chose
Okay.
to refer to the people buying her, the customers, as menstruators rather than women, because the fact is there's people that menstruate that don't identify as being a woman. So
Sure.
now the internet
Oh,
is
I
having
get it.
an
Oh, yeah,
absolute
internet. Oh.
fit.
Which one? Threads or
Oh,
Twitter? or
It's Twitter.
Instagram?
The ones
People have
I
a lot
saw,
of free time, yeah.
The ones I saw were Twitter. But the craziest part, well, this isn't that crazy, but to me, the craziest part is that a lot of the backlash is coming from women who think they're being erased in this language.
Yeah.
Turfs. They're called
Like,
turfs.
oh, we're being erased. No, you're not being erased.
J.K. Rowling.
So there was one, I had to include this because it's a Nancy. So
Oh, my mom is named Nancy, Jesse. This better not be my mom.
I hope it's not your mom. As a liberal, this is exactly why some people hate liberals. One woman named Nancy said, adding, "This sounds ridiculous. Just stop it."
No, we should
The
stop.
problem with that, Nancy.
As a liberal,
Nancy-
just shut up, Nancy. Don't care about it. Move on.
What we should stop.
And I was going to say, they've always hated liberals, so it's not like this is a new thing.
We
I
need
mean,
to
what are we doing?
stop listening to commentators named Nancy. Like we do the thing
Oh.
on the weekend news or whatever, when they go out and they ask like somebody, was it your husband interviewed shoveling?
Yeah. Safety
yeah.
tips for shoveling.
Yeah.
We're asking safety tips from
Ask a
shoveling
Southerner
from,
how to
from
shovel.
a guy who's outside shoveling. That's
From
what we do now.
Virginia.
Like, why don't we? Like, it's like asking Leo DiCaprio about climate change. Stop asking
Oh,
normal
whoa.
idiots for what they think about the thing. Ask experts from now on.
And of course, Piers Morgan had to chime in and say, "Menstruators, try women."
As we three normal idiots comment on everything.
Like, so there we go. This is our newest woke brand. You have to say that it's women, or else you're woke.
More
It's
importantly,
funny because
Jesse,
we can't count.
get Nadia. Come on, we got to get
Get
Nadia.
her
We're
on.
the idiots.
Okay. Yeah,
Good
she,
game.
She
Come on,
had.
Nadia.
She started. She took a year off from Harvard and started a nonprofit called Period.
Okay, name dropper. Okay, you don't have to
And-
name drop everything.
What?
Come on.
Well, in Oregon, I
Harvard.
volunteered with her organization. So yeah, she's very cool.
Cool.
Okay, story number 2. This is gonna be a shocker. Turns out cruises are actually bad for the environment. Whoa!
How bad are they?
But it's this data point got me though. Read out the data point
Okay.
that they're. Yeah,
A
yeah.
June study from the European Federation for Transport and Environment found that 63 cruise ships owned
63.
just 63,
Just 63 ships.
owned by Carnival Corp emitted 43% more sulfur oxides than all the 291 million cars in Europe in 2022.
Wow.
63.
ships.
It's
I mean,
incredible.
those
It's
ships are
incredible.
mammoth. Come on, but
Not
Okay,
only,
but still.
Not only do they make the air worse, but you also guaranteed norovirus and COVID.
That's true.
Ooh,
It's like
That's
the
true.
triple
It's a
whammy.
cesspool. Yeah. But you know what? If you owned Free Flow Analytics, this would not
Which you
actually
should.
be a shocker to you because
Ooh, I
their
like
carbon
this.
rating is 0.029. 0.029.
Oh, wow,
This is
I
the
love that.
lowest of every
Wow.
company in the S&P 500.
Oh, Jesse, I'm applauding Jesse.
I filtered and sorted, and it is the lowest.
Jesse, you just won the week for me.
Yeah.
Not only the first one to plug our product, but you plugged it perfectly.
With
Like,
the
that
right
was a
name.
beautiful plug.
Free Flow
Thank you,
Analytics
thank you,
batting
thank
average
you,
of Carnival
thank you.
on carbon. Lowest in
0.029.
the S&P
Wow.
500. I love everything about that. Everything.
Okay.
I'm not exhausted. Now I'm
wow.
stoked.
All right, we're pumped. Okay, well,
Jesse with the win. Yeah.
let me try to bring you back down.
Oh, thank
So
God.
we have my third.
I'm already down.
My
Don't
third
worry.
story is the exhausting return of Brian Johnson to our headlines. Anybody remember?
Brian Johnson?
Anybody remember Brian Johnson?
No.
The most boring
All right.
name ever.
Is he The Rock?
let me jog your memory. With the headline that we covered. Brian Johnson spends up to $2 million a year on rigorous program Project Blueprint aimed at reducing his biological
Oh,
age.
he's that-
So he's
Oh,
a
yeah, Tech Pro.
billionaire
Yeah.
that
CEO Tech Pro,
is
yeah.
reducing
I
his
remember.
biological age. So he has returned, and everybody is going crazy on the interwebs because he has reduced his biological age by 5 years because he finishes his last meal of the day at 11 a.m.
What?
That's how he did it?
He eats
That's it,
between
that's
6
it.
and 11, which actually, Matt, sounds a little bit like what you do. So are you part of Project
I've seen Matt eat
Blueprint?
at night. I've seen him eat at night.
I
has
eat,
dinner.
I eat
We had a
breakfast.
barbecue in his
I
house like a
haven't
week ago.
I
dinner, and
haven't
that's
seen
it.
him eat at night. Just he stops eating at 11.
Yeah.
His dinner is really early because he has children, you know?
You trying
My
to
dinner-
secretly
I'm on-
It's
Yeah.
like it's like,
It's like the
lunch for
extra
normal
blue
people.
plate special. Yeah.
they're
Yeah, but
cra-
Jesse,
they're-
you didn't read the whole article because what you missed is that he finishes his last meal at 11, but when his roommates order pizza, he like takes
Yeah,
his
he's
slice.
like, that's their
Yeah.
meal. I'm
Yeah,
shoving it
so
in my face.
You missed that
I just
part.
think it's funny because they're like touting all of these advances that they're making on him, and it's literally 5 years. Like, would you? I personally would not only eat between 6 and 11.
You'd eat at
for
3:30?
5 years.
Well, can I
I'm
ask
like,
you though, like, how does one measure? Like, if he gets hit by a car tomorrow, he didn't reduce his biological age
Ooh,
by 5
interesting.
years.
They
It's
like
interesting.
measure. He has like a team of doctors, and they measured his like the age
Heart.
of his lungs is 18. The age of
That's
his
all
the age of
make-believe.
his
That's
skin
just
is
make-believe.
28.
I'm
If
sorry.
I were his
the
doctor,
tightness of his skin.
I would also tell him those things.
They just want to make money.
I'd tell him
They're
to
just
shut up.
making
Job.
money
It's
off
just-
of him. They're just like, oh, the tightness of your skin is now down a year, and
the
he pays
length of
them
my
$1 million.
fingernails is the length of a 7-year-old's
Hey,
fingernails.
your wife could quit working at a hospital and just
Do
tell
this?
this dude
Hey.
you're younger and younger man every
she
year.
is a urologist,
That's
so
it,
she'd
right.
be like, your penis is the penis of a 73-year-old. That was your trade-off.
He was
Plus,
going for
Jesse.
7-year-old.
Yes.
And how do we know he doesn't wake up at midnight? I mean, what do we really know
Or
about
does
him?
he sleepy? I don't know.
I mean,
Right?
I think he's
but-
exhausted because he didn't eat all day.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I hate this guy.
All right, fine. I'm
It's
exhausted. We get over
exhausting.
it.
Okay, there
Yeah.
we go. There are my 3.
I'm going
let's
for the
vote, let's
cruises because that is just
Ooh, Ari jumping
Yeah,
in.
jumping
I like
right
it.
in there. But I think it's
bananas.
I think it's also the right answer. It is the cruises.
I love how it's just one company's cruise.
I
Really?
mean, that's the
Best
easiest one to be
traders?
exhausted by. Yeah, that's just a clean
No,
sweep.
I mean the cruises are the worst. We've been covering
Yeah,
them for
cruises
4
are
years.
disgusting.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about like renting clothes to like reduce carbon costs
Let's
of
just
flight,
ban cruises.
at least flights have some utility. Cruises have no utility. It's pure
Yeah,
recreation.
you go in a circle.
You literally go out and you come
you
back.
don't actually
They come back.
experience anything.
And there's the stupid. I mean, you could do all the things on a cruise on the ground, on the land. You don't have to go
Yeah,
to
it's-
the ocean to do it.
It's just you're just jumping into a
So what the
cesspool
fuck
of a
are
hot
we
tub.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Build one hotel.
Gross.
Okay. Unanimous.
All right.
Which brings us to, let's wrap this up by going into, once I can find the music to wrap us up. Here we go.
It's the same music.
It's
You
always
can't
the
find
same
that.
music. That's at the bottom of the list. Riverside, let me organize my music.
I'm going to start with my winners. Jesse, I had Mark Zuckerberg as my winner. because the first week maybe ever that people liked him. I crossed it out. I
Nobody
literally
likes him.
crossed it out, and you're my winner.
Yeah.
Because you did. You plugged our platform, Free Flow Analytics, the right way.
Yes, thank you.
And look at you. You actually compared it to the index.
I
To-
did.
You took a known universe of companies. I mean,
Am
come
I
on.
an
You're like
analyst?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're an analyst now. You're an
You're
analyst.
better than
I go
Sasha
to Greenfin
Sadan, I'll tell you
once,
that
and I
much.
come back an analyst.
Thank you, Greenfin. You turned her into
True,
an
yeah.
analyst.
Maybe it is Greenfin that did it.
Ari.
Well, besides Jesse winning the week, I also have Judge
Don't say
Ketanji
beside
Brown
Jesse.
Jackson.
You only get one winner.
What? No, I get two. Anyway,
No, you don't.
I think Judge Jackson won the week last week, I guess, for saving being able to write about your experiences due to race in the essay portion of college applications. She, during the hearings, she questioned and drew parallels between legacy admissions and minority admissions, basically saying, how are you able to say you're fourth generation Yaley, for example, but you can't talk about how your great-grandparent couldn't go to school because of segregation, because they were poor, because they were enslaved, all these things. And it made it so powerful that even our super uber conservative court was forced to carve out this particular thing. And they specifically called it out in their decision that even though you can't check a box anymore, you can talk about your experiences because of your
That's
race.
so nice of them. That's so nice of the court.
Hey,
to
and
allow
this was
you-
all her, and she, because of
No,
her,
it's an
because of
important
her
and great
questioning.
dissent. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that they pat her on the head and it's like, fine, you can write about being a black
I
person.
mean, it was just
guess.
so good, legacy admissions that she had.
Well,
them.
they're already being sued.
She had
Those
them.
same universities are already being sued for that very
for
thing,
legacy admissions. Yeah, those are
Yep.
probably going to fall next. My winner of the week,
That's not
though,
bad.
is conservatives who finally in this country have a safe space.
I thought the safe space was this country.
No, see, that's where you're wrong. They've been marginalized and discriminated
True.
against for a long time, for a really long time. I mean, like all these trans people just telling conservatives like what to
drink.
do and what to say, what Jesus to worship and like what the holidays are. Like now finally conservatives can go to public square and get Big Guns dog food for their dogs that are patriotic.
And Black Rifle Coffee. I'm just kidding. I
Finally.
don't know if they're on there, but they should be.
They probably are.
Okay, I have threads,
Jesse.
but now I'm disappointed by it.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically
Wait.
because I saw this headline, which said 10
Yeah.
million users joined in 7 hours, and it took Twitter 780 days.
Well,
to do
I'll
that.
tell you this,
They're up to
Jesse.
like
As of
40
an
or
hour
50
ago,
million.
that number's 70 million. So.
Nuh-uh.
God,
Nuh-uh.
that is
Yeah.
insane.
In the first
That's
24.
pretty
Ari,
insane.
Ari, do you have any
Ari, you
questions
have a question?
about threats?
Ari, you have a question, Ari?
It's not going to stick, guys.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Oh, that's not a
All right,
question, that's a
predictions.
I think when Apple comes out with their car, you're going to need to buy their Apple AR headset thing to drive a car.
Oh, forget
Ooh, I like
it.
this.
Forget knobs.
Get out.
Here's my headset.
Oh,
Actually, I kind of like
I
this.
hate
Yeah.
that. I hate that. My prediction is that Larry Fink accidentally says ESG at a conference.
Whoa, what's the penalty there?
There is
Is it tied to his bonus? Maybe.
Absolutely
No,
no penalty.
I think there's no
That's
penalty,
the
but
kicker.
I think like there's going to be
Demerits.
headlines for a week about how Larry Fink said, "No, I'm not saying ESG," and then it slipped out like he was in the bathroom at the urinal, and somebody was like, "Hey, Larry," and he's like, "ESG." Oh shit!
My prediction is more frightening, and that is that the U.S. Congress is going to try to amend the Constitution to change a law that presidential candidates must be natural-born citizens of the U.S. just so Elon Musk can be our president. And then when Elon Musk becomes president, he's going to get rid of term limits, and then there you go. That's our president for the next 40 years.
That was literally the worst prediction I've ever heard. I prefer Larry Fink saying ESG accidentally.
I like to make real predictions sometimes.
That's all we got. That's our show for today.
Sweaty show.
It's Damian Rollis and Jesse the Money Whisperer and Ari the Data Queen. I'm full of BS. Come back next week. We're going to be on a 3-a-week schedule for the summer, right?
Yeah.
We're on 3 a week.
Yeah.
But we'll be around
cares?
and we'll talk to you then. Until then.